"Now, young man," Mr. Jenkins began, his voice a thunderclap in the small space, "do you have any idea what you've done?" The question hung in the air like a thick fog, dense and unavoidable. The boy felt his palms start to sweat. He knew what was coming. He had been in his office before, but this time it felt different. This time, Mr. Jenkins' eyes were more than just stern. They were furious. "Yes, sir," the boy murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. It was a simple answer to a simple question, but it was clear that Mr. Jenkins was just getting started. The teacher's gaze bore into him, as if trying to peel back the layers of his soul to find the root of the problem. "I'll tell you what you've done," Mr. Jenkins said, his voice racing like an orchestra before a dramatic pause. "You've disrespected not just me, but the entire class and the institution of learning itself. Your actions are a slap in the face to everyone who has ever worked hard for and played by the rules. Do you understand that?" The boy nodded, his eyes glued to the floor. Mr. Jenkins took a deep breath and leaned forward, his knuckles white on the desk. "Every action has a consequence, and every choice you make shapes who you are. This isn't just about passing a test or following the rules because I said so. It's about being a decent human being. Do you think what you did was decent?" The boy's throat tightened. "No, sir," he choked out, feeling the weight of his words like a boulder in his stomach. The room was silent, except for the ticking of the clock. It was a sound that seemed to grow louder with every passing second, echoing the beat of the boy's racing heart. He knew he had messed up, and it was just about time when he had to face the music. "Look at me," Mr. Jenkins demanded, his eyes piercing through the shadows of the cap. The boy looked up, and for the first time, he saw something other than anger in his teacher's gaze. He saw disappointment. It was a look that stung more than any scream or shout ever could. "You need to learn from this, son, and I'm going to make sure that you do. Every time you think about taking the easy way out, I want you to remember this moment." The boy nodded again, feeling the gravity of Mr. Jenkins' words like a heavy blanket settling over him. He knew this wasn't just about to be a quick lecture followed by a detention. This was going to be a good lesson that would stick with him for a long time. "Good," Mr. Jenkins said, his tone softer now, but no less serious. "Now let's go through this step by step. Did you cheat on the test?" "Yes, sir," the boy replied, his voice cracking with the admission. He could feel the heat rising to his cheeks. "And why did you cheat?" The boy paused, considering his options. He could lie, but he knew that wouldn't get him anywhere. The truth was always better, even if it stung. "I didn't study enough, sir. I was scared of failing." Mr. Jenkins leaned back in his chair, stroking his beard thoughtfully. "Fear of failure is a powerful thing," he said, "but it's also a choice. You could have chosen to put in the effort and learn, or you have chosen to take the coward way out. You choose the latter." The boy nodded, feeling the truth of the statement hit home. He had been afraid of the work, of looking stupid in front of his classmates. He had chosen the easy way, and now he was facing the consequences. "Now let's talk about those classmates of yours. Did you think about them when you made your decision?" "No, sir," the boy mumbled. "Every time you cheat, you're not letting yourself down. You're letting down every person who trusts you. Your classmates studied hard. They played fair. And now because of you, they think that cheating is okay." The boy hadn't considered that. The idea of his friends thinking he was a cheater was way worse than any scolding. He felt his eyes begin to well up with tears, but he blinked them away, refusing to let them fall. "I want you to write a letter of apology to the class, explaining what you did and why it was wrong. You'll read it out loud tomorrow. The boy's heart sank. The thought of facing everyone, admitting his deceit, was almost too much to bear, but he knew he had to do it. "Yes, sir," he said, his voice steady despite the tremble in his chest. Mr. Jenkins leaned forward again, his eyes searching the boy's face for any signs of understanding. "And after that, we're going to have some extra tutoring sessions. I'm going to help you catch up and learn the material properly. No more cheating." The boy nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope amidst the storm of his guilt. Maybe, just maybe, he could make this right. "Thank you, sir." The teacher's expression softened slightly. "You're welcome, but remember, this isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card. You're going to have to work for this. And maybe, just maybe, you'll learn that the hard work pays off in the end." As the boy left the office, a door closing with a final click behind him, he knew the scolding was far from over. The real punishment was just beginning. The one that came from facing his peers and the knowledge that he had failed not just himself, but everyone who had ever believed in him. But as he took the first step down the hallway, he also knew that this was the moment where he could choose to learn from his mistake and to become a better person. And that lesson was worth more than any gold star on a test. The next day, the classroom was filled with an eerie silence as the boy stood before his classmates, his letter trembling in his hands. He took a deep breath and began to read, each word like a confession at a podium. His voice was shaky at first, but it grew stronger with every sentence, until it was clear and firm. He talked about the fear that had driven him to cheat, the guilt that had been eating away at him, and the disappointment he had seen in Mr. Jenkins' eyes. He didn't sugarcoat his actions to try to justify them. He simply owned up to them. And as he read, he saw the reactions of his peers shift from shock to understanding, and finally, to something what felt like empathy. They had all been through tough spots before, and felt the pressures of expectations. They had never seen someone face the consequences so openly. The lesson learned in Mr. Jenkins' office didn't stop at the door. They stepped into every aspect of his life, and his relationships, and his ambitions. He started to realize that the success wasn't just about becoming the best or the smartest, but it was about being honest and resilient. As the school year drew to a close, Mr. Jenkins called him back into the office. The clutter was still there, the coffee cup still empty, but the air was different. The sternness had been replaced with a gentle smile. "You've come a long way," he said, handing the boy a report card filled with A's and B's. The boy took the paper, his hands shaking slightly. "Thank you, sir," he said, looking up with a newfound confidence. "It's not just about grades," Mr. Jenkins said, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. "It's about the growth. And you, my friend, have grown more than I could ever hoped for." The boy nodded, understanding fully the depth of the teacher's words. The scolding had been hard, but it was a catalyst for change, and it transformed him from being a scared cheater to a courageous learner. And as he left that office this time, the hallway didn't feel so long or daunting. Instead, it was filled with possibilities, each step a testament to the lessons he had learned and the person that he had become.